no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Senior Citizen Podcast. We are here with Brayton.
What's going on? How you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, I've been a little stressed with moving, coming back to Miami, but yeah.
And traveling. You went to LA.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. I'm like still jet lagged.
The good thing was that when you're moving around so much like that, you leave people wondering, like, what is he up to? What is he going to do? What's he going to hit me with now?
I'm just living life. I mean, people can wonder, I guess.
No, well, I have to personally say I am a fan of yours from The Butterfly Effect.
What?
And I think I expressed that over DMs because I was like, bro, this song.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's my best one for sure.
And not to say that your other music's bad. It's just there's something so catchy about The Butterfly Effect. And when you told me that this is the direction that you're trying to go in, I'm like, I'm waiting for new music, basically.
Yeah, I consider that honestly to be like my first like real song, because all my other stuff, it just didn't hit the like quality I wanted it to be at. Mm-hmm. So I'm like starting fresh kind of with that one.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. You can always start fresh whenever you want to.
Yeah.
What was the inspo behind the song, you know?
Well, I think it was just like I was going through a really hard time with just like relationship stuff, and the song's just kind of about like parting ways, and not necessarily having to be a bad thing to part ways with somebody, and maybe just like it's better off that way. Mm-hmm. Because obviously the butterfly effect is about, like, when people say a butterfly effect, they're talking about small things that ripple into bigger decisions, and sometimes that happens everywhere in life, like, you know, and some people part ways because of that, and that's okay, you know.
And it's based off real life experience at this point.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a direct thing, but I'm always, when I write, I'm inspired by things that happen in my life. And even if like the exact direct lyric isn't like a 1-to-1 correlation of what is happening in real life, like it's still, you know, it's like based off of something else. Like, because if it's like brown eyes, blue eyes, hair, like it doesn't, like those are all details like that I wrote to like just like rhyme it with something, you know what I mean? Right. Sometimes words just fall into place just so that it makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's like the exact thing that happened. Mm. So yeah, that's kind of how I write.
It just reminded me of that. I think it's Bo Burnham that did like there's a girl and she has hands and she has nails and she has like it's a whole like love song.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, it's like super generic. It's like, oh, and she has skin. Like what?
Yeah.
But no, super cool. Like I said, it's I had it on repeat for a little bit because I was just like, this is a great song.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I want to know a little bit more about you as an artist, how you got started.
Well, I really started out, I've always been into music. I've always, my parents have put me into everything like sports and art and music. And music was just the one that stuck with me. And I originally started making electronic music. Ooh. So I actually thought singing was like so lame. I was never going to sing in my whole life. I was never going to sing. But one thing just led to another, and I just started singing just because I would make dubstep, and then I started making EDM, like sort of dialing it back, and then it got into just like beats and just like hip-hop beats, R&B beats, just production. And then I was trying to find people to sing on my beats, and I went to a school that like was not musical at all. I went to a Christian private school, and nobody wanted to sing on my songs. So I was like, I'm the only one who could sing, and it would help me with my production anyways. So I started singing, and then I think the first song that I consider to be like the real first song that I sang on, released, put effort into, was because of a breakup in high school, and that was really like, I was like, I need to sing this song. Like nobody else can. I can write the song, I can produce it, but if somebody else sang it, it would feel like insincere. I wanted to, it's my emotions, I wanted like me to be the one singing it, and so I was like, I guess we'll try it, and I just started singing from that point.
Oh, and it was like hey, I could do this.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I've gotten a lot better if you compare the two. But yeah, and then since then I've tried like vocal lessons, and I've gone on YouTube and like figured out some stuff.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's kind of how it tumbled into that.
Did you do dubstep like when dubstep was was popping? Like,
I
it was a
I
cool
love
thing?
Skrillex.
Okay,
I love
that era.
Skrillex. Yeah, that was like the main thing. I wanted to be like a DJ at like Coachella or some shit.
Right.
And I swore I was gonna do that. Like I swore my name wasn't even Brayton. I mean, Brayton's my real name, which is why I switched it to that. Cause
So what was your name when you
oh my god, I don't even want to say it because I just hate it. It was Troubleshot.
troubleshot?
Yeah, I just think it's like annoying now.
Maybe because you've like overheard it. I don't think it's that. It could have been worse.
Yeah, no,
It's one of those,
definitely.
like-
It's just like I don't know. It might have fit at the time for the music that I was doing, but definitely not now.
Mhm.
I don't think it does.
Right. No, yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
expect.
People
troubleshot.
already have a hard time pronouncing my real name, so I'm like, why add an extra layer of like another name that people aren't gonna know how to pronounce properly?
Right. No, and always the big stars, like, people don't say Shakira's last name. I can't pronounce it. I know what it is, but I can't pronounce it. But
I don't
Shakira's just
think
Shakira.
I don't think I know her last name either.
Mebarak, something like that. Because she has like Lebanese like family, like that's her origins. But yeah, I don't know how to say her last name. Sorry, I butchered it. But no, okay, Troubleshot. I'm gonna call you that now.
No, please don't.
Super cool though. And then what you were saying about the song feeling insincere, somebody else saying it just reminded me of another band that had come in here, that they were trying to find a vocalist, and the vocalist was trying to get too creative, and the guy was just like, no, I'm gonna sing it because I know what it's supposed to sound like, because they were trying to like do a chorus during a breakdown or something like that, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So it's kind of hard to find people to work with.
Yeah, that was the big thing with me was just in my hometown, like Palm Beach Gardens area. Like there was never anybody I felt I could work with, like musically at all. Like that's why to this day, I'm still basically like 100% self-produced, mixed, only up until literally the Butterfly Effect. I got it mastered by literally a friend from college. So I'm still not like working with anybody like super huge. Don't get me wrong, like he's super talented, but it's still like a close circle of friends. It's not like I'm going out to these like huge people trying to get like mixes, and it's still like very like indie or like just like a close knit to me. And yeah, and in high school, like nobody sang, nobody did production, nobody did music. I was the only musical kid in my school. And everybody else from the area that didn't go to my school that did music, they were all like trying to be rappers and trying to be like, you know, like just, I don't know. It was just like the same kind of music. Nobody was making the kind of music that I made.
Right.
And so I never really clicked with anybody back in my hometown. But luckily, all of that is what got me into college, because I used my like portfolio to submit to University of Miami.
Oh.
And I got in, and now I'm finally starting to open up to working with people. But I'm still like very closed off because I just don't like trust people with anything. Like I don't know. I feel like you have to get on a certain wavelength with somebody to really like work with somebody, you know?
Oh, 100%. That's
Yeah.
why like we probably have the same issue. Like whenever I'm working on something, it's like no, I'll do it, because it's like I know I'll do it the way I want it to be done.
Yeah.
I don't trust somebody else to do it or have the
Yeah.
same care for a project, especially if it's something that I'm doing on my own and it's not necessarily like a corporate work thing. It's like I want to make sure it's done at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
I gave up on graphic design though.
No, same, honestly. I mean, I can get around with Photoshop and stuff like that, but it was only until I don't know if you've seen Dylan at all. So Dylan, I literally met him from TikTok, and I consider him to be like my manager.
Okay.
Which is like this is like the first, I would say the first real like close-knit connection that I've ever made within music, because usually I'd never like trust anybody like that. He's also like become my best friend. He shot the music video for Butterfly Effect. And he does all my cover art at this point, and just all the graphic design. And he basically just DM'd me one day and was like, yo, I do music videos. If you ever need a music video, let me know. And usually, you know, people can reach out to you, but it's just got to be a fit. Like you see it if you see somebody's portfolio and it's not aligning with like your sound or what you would do, it's like, I don't want to work with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I saw what he was doing, and I was like, he's really good. And not only is he good, but it fits with like what I'm doing. Because there are people who are really good and talented, but it's not like with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a different vibe.
Yeah. And so he had the exact same vibe as me. And we met up at like a Starbucks or something. And this was like the first time I've ever met somebody like online, like just like no
nerve-wracking.
prior connection at all, right?
Right.
And he was the quickest I've ever made a best friend. It was like literally within like 2 hours. Like we didn't even talk about the video at Starbucks. We just like talked and just became friends. And then from that point on, it was like we shot the video for Methamphetamine, which was my first music video. That was good. My other 2 music videos that I made were like horrible, just because I edited them. Like I'm not good, you know.
Right.
But he edited my first music video, shot it, did all that, and it came out great. Even today, even though I think Butterfly Effect it came out way better, it's still really good. Like I could never do that by myself.
Right.
So I'm so glad I met him. And then we just kept talking, and I remember he called me up after we shot the video. Like after everything was done, and I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just calling to say what's up." And I was like, "You are?" Like, because I don't know, I would feel like I would be used to people just calling about like business or like what do you want to do, like, you know, the next video or something.
Yeah.
But he was just calling to like talk, and I was like, okay. And so we just like from that point on we talked almost every day.
Right.
I mean, I just talked to him in the car before
Aww.
we got here. And he brought me to LA too. And then I met a bunch of people through him. So, like, honestly, without him, I probably wouldn't be here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it shows that you're grateful. Some friendships just click like that. Like my best friend, I met her, like we went to an event together for like an album release.
Yeah.
Or a single release, whatever. And we got there early, so we sat there talking. And then by the end of the night, it's like, oh, best friends, do you need me to drive you home? Like, are we good? Like, inseparable sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. I tell people it's like there are people online who like you meet and are total strangers that like treat you better than like people that from your high school or like anybody that you know.
I don't know anybody from my high school anymore.
Like literally,
Nobody.
it's just funny how that can happen. Like you spend years with these people and they don't really like give a shit about you in the end, and then you spend like an hour with this person and you just like click so hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like it. And I've never like, I didn't even really have like a best friend, so to speak, like before I met her, because it's like my best friend's my boyfriend, if anything.
Yeah, no, I feel.
But like girl best friend to have girl talk with, like that was revolutionary for me. Like within an hour, it's like, hey.
Yeah.
And then what you're saying that he called you for like like just to say hi.
Yeah, just to like chop it up. Yeah.
I have a friend that always calls me about business. Like he does his own, entertainment stuff and whatever. So he calls me and it's always business. And then like a couple weeks ago, he called me and he was like, Vicky, I got a dilemma at work.
Yeah,
and it
that's
was
funny.
girl problems. And I'm like, hello?
Yeah.
Is this the same person I've been talking to for the last 3 years?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But no, those friendships, it's funny how friendships work in different ways. And I'm glad that friendship with Dylan has been beneficial for you career-wise, but I'm sure like spirit-wise, like it's been
definitely.
very
I mean,
good
for
you.
him too, I feel like we both help each other out, vice versa. And it's just nice to see like a community building authentically instead of like just trying to. I feel like a lot of people with features or like, or videos, it's just like, it's all about like just, like the person growing, people don't care if a feature is good or not. They just care if the feature is like bigger than them so that they can get a platform, if they feature somebody on their song, not if it's going to sound good or not,
right?
Or if it like genuinely works. Like that's why I haven't really gotten any features on any of my songs. I only have one. Because I wouldn't get some random person on one of my songs. Like I have to have like established some sort of connection to them or like have been following them for a long time.
Yeah. I think a really good example of not using features just for the sake of using them is the Gorillaz.
Yeah.
Like they will pick up random. I mean, it's random in the sense of like it's very different artists when they do it, but it works in whatever vibe that they're going for that moment. Like they worked with Bad Bunny, but they also worked with Tame Impala.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so you mentioned that like you check out people's portfolios before you work with them. What if it's someone that's like trying to just get started and they're like, hey, I want to work with you?
Well, if I'm being honest, Dylan has not been doing videos for a long time. He's only been doing it. I mean, I'm 21, he's 20. I think I met him when he was 19, and I think he started doing videos when he was like 8. He's been at it for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't really have like too many videos under his belt.
Right.
And like he's just getting better and better. That's kind of like, I think that's kind of what I did, because he really is just starting out. I think even if you're starting out, you can still like have something special about you. You know what I mean? I think a lot of my music that I made was horrible when I first made it, but I think you could tell like the sound I was trying to go for. So Dylan's gotten a lot better at videos now, like post Butterfly Effect. All the stuff that he's doing now is a lot better than his older videos. But his older videos were still enough for me to like get on board with what he was doing, you know?
Right. Like you saw where he was going with
it. And I it's like something you can get behind. And I think that's like a big thing about smaller artists is it's not about them having it now, because if they had it now they'd be big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about like seeing what they're doing and following their journey more than just like liking them where they are now.
Yeah, and what you were saying, that you work with people that are obviously local and close to you, that's part of building a team that works for you.
Yeah, so definitely.
Because you see like bigger artists' music videos, and it's always the same directors. It's always and it's people who have been with them since day one. That, you know, when they were probably at, I don't know, at 100K. And
no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I never want to. I mean, even if I am trying to get bigger and other opportunities open, like I don't think I would ever like have him out of the team. He's always gonna be somewhere in the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What so you're a solo artist, basically. You have musicians that you hire around you when you do want to perform and do stuff. Do you ever think you're gonna like solidify an actual team of musicians to?
Honestly, I'm really sticking with the solo artist like path, just because I think it's a lot easier like brand wise, and I think it's a lot easier commitment wise, and so yeah, I don't think I would get like form a band. Okay. I mean, maybe I would have like a performance band that's been pretty consistent, but if I want to do shows in Los Angeles, or if I want to go to New York or something, like I can't ensure that like the band can come with me.
Right.
So if they're like, I mean, if usually when a band's like lead singer or even guitarist, like they die, it's like the band's over. I mean, people try to fill in with somebody else, but you know, a lot of people are like, oh, the band was better when you had this guitarist, or the band was better. Like I would never want to have to deal with that, you know?
Right.
So I think it is better to have the focus more on like a solo artist, just to avoid having like inconsistencies. Because I already am, right, with like my performance band. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Everybody has different goals with what they're doing, definitely. But you just mentioned that like, oh, when the guitarist leaves or whatever, there's a band called Real Friends. I don't know if you like pop punk.
I mean, I like pop punk. I haven't heard of them.
Check out Real Friends. They're very good.
Yeah.
Their original singer left.
Yeah.
They released an EP. This EP was fire. I'm saying it's so fire, I didn't even notice it wasn't the original vocalist.
Really? You
didn't?
Does it like sound similar? Or?
I mean, so similar enough to me. It was still, and it's still the Real Friends, because Real Friends is very like, oh, depressed pop punk, whatever. Yeah, so it still had that same vibe. And then when I was talking to sophomore year, they were like, yeah, no, the original vocalist left. It's not the same. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like
really?
The Jennifer Lawrence mean? What do you mean?
That is so funny. That's cool. You had sophomore year in here, isn't Joey?
Yeah, Joey Castro. Yeah,
that's he's sick.
They were all in here. We fit 4 people here
in this corner.
Oh
my gosh, that's crazy.
But yeah, they were like, oh, Dan Lambert, I think, was the original vocalist, and they're like, it doesn't hit the same. I'm like, it does.
You're like, yeah, that's funny.
I mean, I didn't say it up front, but it does hit the same. Sorry, sophomore year, I have to disagree with you. Real Friends is still great. No, super cool though. What would be like your dream collab as an artist though?
Honestly, well, it depends on the scale, because like there's like always like the most unrealistic thing happening. But then
we're talking unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Yeah. This is our manifesting zone. So whatever you say, you're putting it out into the universe. It might happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like who would be a good one to solidify. I just went and saw Youngblood, and I think Youngblood is so cool. I think he's sick. I think him live was like absolutely nuts. And so definitely he'd be an awesome person to collab with. Even like not even artist, but like producer wise, like obviously like Travis Barker is like a big one, just because he basically runs like a lot of rock music now. You see a lot of these like smaller solo artists having a Travis Barker feature. And then I don't know if you know Kenny Hoopla. He's like
Dan knows.
he's awesome. Yeah, and he worked with Travis Barker, and they clicked like that, and they made a whole project together, and then another song, and then he just went on tour with Blink-182
Oh, wow.
to open for them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so definitely him. I'm trying to think of what his name is. He manages 5 Seconds of Summer. He's Mod Sun's producer. Totally forgot his name. It's unfortunate. I could look it up. He's a super sick producer, though. Mod Sun would be great. Mod Sun's one of my favorite artists ever, probably. Just because I really like his mindset. I think he's got one of the... John Feldman, that's his name.
Okay.
John Feldman. He is an insane producer. Super funny. Was in Goldfinger, old band.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's just super cool. Mod Sun, could definitely see me working with him. I don't know, like I think his positivity like really wore off on me. Right. Not just like because I think like once you become fans of an artist, it's not even just about their music. It's about like their whole, like everything about it. You know what I mean?
Which is why some artists, it's like, oh, I listen to it, but you don't say it in public because it's not like politically correct.
Yeah, or like some people just like the artist just because of the music, and it's like that's fine. But I find that when I like an artist's music, that's like the first thing I like about them is the music, and then it goes deeper than that once I like actually like dig into who they are.
Yeah.
So that's been the main thing for me. But more locally and more realistically, like I really fuck with all of my friends. Like all my friends' music now are so cool. Like all the people I met in LA, like we got Sachi, we got Noah, we got like Kennedy, we got Kenny, like all that, the whole house that I stayed at in LA, like any of those four, super talented. Ezra is another one. Just like people that I've met like through other people. Finally, I can like be proud of like my mutuals music. You know what I mean? Because like I said, where I'm from, like I didn't feel like a lot of other artists were like anywhere close to a vibe that I was trying to be on. Mm-hmm. But now I finally met people that I'm like, not only am I friends with you, I actually do like your music. Like unironically, like I'm actually supporting you. You know what I mean?
What was it? I think I was like in Epcot. And this random guy, because they have like the food stands, so that's where I go before I go to eat. There was this guy in the food stands. For some reason, he started talking to me and my boyfriend, and he shares his friend's SoundCloud link, but he was like, "It's not actually good. I'm just trying to be a good friend."
That's so
He's
funny.
Like, I don't actually fuck with this, but
yeah, I feel like that's really common. Honestly, it's like you're friends with somebody, but their music's like not that good, but you're like trying to be a good friend to them. I don't ever want to be. That's why I'm trying to get really good so that nobody can say that about me.
That's really funny though. No, and it's nice to, being in that circle, it's also gonna uplift you to like motivate you to create and whatever. I think that people
definitely.
Who create anything needs to be like in a circle of people who are also in that mindset of creating and moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
So, this show also delves a lot into like the nostalgia of what it was like growing up. I was a big scene kid back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I was secretly a scene kid.
Secretly, yeah, because you were in a Christian school, right?
Yeah,
so
I had to wear uniforms every single day, so I didn't really have a fashion sense until I graduated high school.
Ouch.
Yeah, it sucked. But I used to play a lot of video games. I used to play a fuck ton of Roblox.
Roblox?
Roblox was my shit. Like, yeah.
Never played Roblox before.
Roblox is awesome. I think that's like where like 90% of my like internet culture came from.
Oh really? It's an online server?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of different. It's like a bunch of different games that you can
Gotcha.
play. It's like Lego people or something.
Listen, back in my day, I played RuneScape.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Or like I played Club Penguin too.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Club Penguin's hard. Yeah.
Club Penguin. There was like a Disney World one too. That they shut that down. It was like a virtual Magic Kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That got shut down. I miss it though. I miss Club Penguin. Is that still around?
I don't think it is. Somebody tried to remake it. They made Club Penguin rewritten, and it's like some guy just like I don't know how he did it. He just took all the source code from Club Penguin, like re-uploaded it, and like you could just sign up for free and play Club Penguin. But I think they took it down.
Damn.
I know they're quick on that.
But what was on your playlists during that time of your life when you were playing Roblox?
Oh God, I mean. I'm trying to think because I have a bunch of playlists. I could look, honestly. I have like so many playlists. You want to know what's funny? I have a humongous nostalgia playlist. Like a
That's what we need to see.
humongous one. It's
We're all
like
about nostalgia
it's
here.
called Nostalgia 2010 to 2018, and it literally has the cover art is Roblox.
We see.
Yeah, and it's huge. It's like humongous.
Noted. The second song is "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley.
Yeah. That is such a banger of a playlist. That's like one of my most proudest creations of all time.
We got "Take on Me." We got "Sexy and I Know It."
Yeah.
Fireflies. So I used to, in high school, there was a radio station, and we had the Owl City CD that had Fireflies on it. Mind you, it had a bunch of other great songs on it. But since everybody always wanted to play Fireflies, it got locked in a cabinet. And if you wanted to take that CD out, you had to go through the professor, be like, "Hey, can I get Owl City?"
That's crazy.
They're like, "Yes, as long as you don't play Fireflies," because it was like, yeah.
I have literally every possible song from that like 8-year period that
Can you like share playlists?
I definitely could. It's public.
Oh, it's public? Okay.
Yeah,
I need a link to this.
it's a good one.
Yeah, Despacito.
There's some like oddly specific ones in there that are just for me, but I think overall it's pretty solid.
Right. No, this is a very solid playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that.
Thank you. I'm a playlist curator.
It's a hard job. Like
I
I've
know, yeah.
tried to curate playlists and it's just not. Like,
Yeah, you know what's funny? Dylan's little brother, he does playlist curation.
Really?
It's like a whole family business. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like Dylan does music videos, and then his brother does like playlisting and stuff like that. Yeah. It is hard. Yeah.
It's an actual like business.
I honestly they make money off of it, so it's a business, right?
How?
Well, I mean, you make the playlist. You get people to like the playlist, so you have like a playlist with like 2,000 likes or something. And then if it's like a rap playlist, you have rappers hitting you up like, "Hey, can I put my song on your playlist?" And they go, "Sure, give me $30." And it's like, "Okay, put it on." And there you go.
I had no idea this was a thing.
Yeah.
Did you know it was a thing, Dan?
Yeah, playlisting is like a huge part now of like trying to get your song like publicity.
Right.
Dan's
like, I know how the whole world works.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Spotify editorial playlist. Those are huge. If you get on one of those, you're like, you're going up.
Right.
But a lot of people, it's hard to get on Spotify editorials just because you like a Spotify person who runs the editorial has to actually see your song and then like put it in. You can't like just pay to be on a Spotify editorial. You either have to pitch it, which I do every single song of mine, and you probably should if you're releasing music. Every song you pitch, you go, "Hey, this is my song. It means XYZ. I produced it this way. If you like it, I feel like it fit these vibes." And then if somebody at Spotify hears it, reads your pitch, and is like, "Okay, I like it," they put it on like Rock This or like some bigger playlist.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. It's really hard to get on those playlists just because everybody who's making music is trying to get on those playlists. So you can go to the smaller playlists and like, hit up somebody on Instagram who has like a playlist with like 2,000, 1,000 likes, and you just be like, "Hey, like review my song. If you like it, you can put it in your playlist." And if they like it, they put it in.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I was today years old when I learned.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing. Honestly, the music business is like really complicated. I'm still trying to learn about it because I'm really trying to take like stuff seriously.
Yeah. No,
like
for sure.
now, I mean, like my older music, I don't want to say I didn't take it seriously, but I didn't really have like a direction I was going with it just because I was in high school and nobody else did that. And so I was just making music for fun, you know? But once I got into college and I met like-minded people who are like succeeding in the music business, I was like, "Oh fuck, like this is what I want to do."
Yeah.
Like I'm going to finally like start taking it seriously.
And I think everything in life kind of happens for a reason, because even though you look back at that music and you say, "Oh, I just made it for fun," it's not really like the work I'm super proud of.
Yeah.
It got you to that
Yeah,
next
it like
point.
literally was my portfolio to even get into college.
Right.
So even if I don't think it was like not that good, it had to have been good enough to like get into college.
Yeah,
So-
like how when you worked with Dylan, you were like, "I saw the potential there. Let me."
Yeah, and now it's like now everything's just getting better and better and better. My production's better, his videos are better. Just even marketing's better. I want to get in like paid promotion and stuff like that. It's just like a lot to deal with, you know.
That's crazy. Is it actually like super hard to get into that music school? I'm sorry, I went to FIU and no.
To University of Miami. I think it's pretty hard to get in. Just because you have to have like good like general grades in high school and stuff like that, and then also have the musical part on top of it. So I don't know. I got in during COVID.
Oh.
So that helped.
Fun.
I don't know. My audition was online.
You had a COVID graduation too?
I didn't actually, because I went to a Christian private school.
Oh, so they just had one anyways?
Yeah. Like they really, I mean, it was like towards the tail end of it. We still had to we had quarantine periods where we'd go online and then go in person, have to wear masks, and then go online again.
Right.
But by the time like COVID was kind of ending, like my school was like, fuck it, we'll have the graduation. The year before me didn't have the graduation.
Damn.
So I'm really lucky about that.
I got lucky because I graduated college like a semester before COVID started.
Yeah.
But also like joining the workforce, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh hey, COVID, pandemic, here's some layoffs.
Yeah,
and
that's hard.
Yo, dude. So the company I work at, it's like a big TV channel, but I work for like the smaller sister channel, and obviously it's like we don't got a lot of funds.
Yeah.
So they put all of us into a Teams call online, and first thing in my head, I'm like, this is it. The whole team is fired. We're all gone. They're just gonna, not waste any time and tell us all at once.
Yeah.
And it was actually that my boss got fired. So I started
really?
crying. Like, I actually cared about my boss.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it did suck. I started crying my eyes out as if I got fired.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll be okay. I couldn't even say anything. I was like, all right, bye. And then I saw her a couple months later. So it's funny because I'm not going to say it's a toxic workplace, but like delving yourself so much into work that you lose your life and your personality. Like when I saw her a couple months later, I was like, this is a different person.
Yeah.
So it actually did her well.
Nice.
Short story time, but yeah, COVID sucked.
COVID did suck. I went into my first year of college with COVID, so even though I had a graduation, the first year of college was super weird. I don't even really remember it that much because I just everybody got so used to how society was like functioning that it's just like another day. You know what I mean? Like having to go get tested and then having to wear a mask, and like the first week of college was all online. Like I don't really remember it that much,
Yeah, it's like
kind of
blur.
like foggy.
Yeah, I started my master's during COVID, and it was a lot of online work and stuff too. But with music, it's so different. Like I don't know what actual classes you take, but is it like actual like playing instrument classes?
Well, my instrument is like vocals,
right?
So the instrument would be just me like singing. So yeah, I have to take singing lessons, and I had to take music theory 1 through 4. And I originally was music engineering, so I was having to do calculus 2. I would have had it on physics, like coding. Yeah,
I never made it to calculus.
Yeah, I made it to calculus 2, and I just realized like that wasn't really what I wanted to do with my life, because I didn't really know when I first came to college. I thought I wanted to like get a degree for like music engineering. It would have been like a science degree. I would have learned how to do like studio production and like building microphones and stuff like that. But what ended up happening was every time that I had a performance, I had an overlap with like an exam or to study for like calculus or calculus 2. Right. And it was like I had to pick. I was like, what do I want to focus on? My music and performing, or like calculus? And I came to the decision that like I didn't want to do calculus. I wanted to do my music. Right. And so I switched my major to like music business. So that's opened a lot more doors for me to do what I actually want to do. Because even though I think I'm pretty good at production, I didn't think I needed to get a degree, like a piece of paper for people to know that I'm good at production, Right.
You could just Photoshop it.
Yeah, or you just listen to the music and you're like,
I'd rather watch paint dry than do calculus. Dan, did you ever make it to calculus?
Barely made it out of college algebra.
Yeah. So when I needed to take my math credits, there was a class that was Excel, and it counted as a math credit. So it was like learning like little formulas, and that was it. It was great.
Nice. I think I need to take one more like STEM credit, and I'm just going for like the easiest one. I'm not doing any of that shit anymore.
I'm telling you, look for that Excel class. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the formulas, but in the moment it was fun because it was like, oh, you put in this, and that, and then you get a result. It was great. It was fun.
Nice.
But damn, calculus. Yeah.
It was hell.
Yeah. And it's funny because when you start getting into like these when you start getting into your like courses in college and stuff, like you don't really know what classes you're getting into and whatnot. So, because when I got into, everybody who took, like, not everybody, but a lot of the people who were in the journalism program, it was too late to switch by the time that they were like, I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look for a Reddit post to give relationship advice to strangers on the internet. Let me see. God. Okay, let's do this one. The first one was like, wait, I'll read the headline for it. We're not answering that. My husband and I opened our relationship and now everything is terrible.
Oh my gosh.
No, okay. My best friend cheated on her husband and swore me to secrecy. My best friend, 30 female, and her husband, 35 male, have been married for 6 years, have 2 very young kids, and she recently admitted to me that she has slept with a mutual friend of theirs. She says she doesn't want to divorce her husband, but she doesn't feel guilty and I think is planning on cheating again. She has sworn me to secrecy, but I don't know if I can just sit by and watch her destroy her marriage because I'm sure this is going to blow up in her face. I've known her for a very long time and she's basically like a sister, but her husband is also a dear friend. What would you do?
Damn. If that's real, that sucks. I
love the first thought. If that's real, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, I would say I'm all about, like, if something's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So if she's cheating on her husband, and that marriage is bound to not work, like, no matter what you do, it's gonna not work because that's just what's meant to happen, you know? And so what I think I would do is, instead of, like, it's kind of hard. You have to balance on the line of, like, revealing the truth, but you don't want to, like, invade on the situation, you know? You don't want to get involved. I wouldn't want to get involved, you know what I mean? Just because you probably have enough shit going on in your life. You don't want to like involve yourself. You know, if you just went and told the husband, then the husband's probably going to be like, well, your friend told me that you're cheating on me, and then it's like, and then, well, you said you weren't going to say anything, so that would suck. But I'm all about, like, unveiling the veil, you know, which might be a little bit like manipulative or something, but like I said, I think whatever's meant to happen is gonna happen. So just, like, allowing situations to reveal that. I mean, the husband's gonna catch on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, eventually. So maybe if you could text the husband to, like, come home, or there's a package at the door or something, and then it's like, you know, he walks in and, like, finds that her.
No, you're here for the drama. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? like, but then it's not your fault. It's not like I didn't tell him that you were cheating. He just caught on. I just said that there was, like, a package at the door.
Listen, I'm terrible. I'm not that friend. Don't trust me with that kind of secret because I will tell your husband immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair for anybody to get cheated on.
It's not, honestly.
And if that makes me a bad friend, well, then fuck it. It made me a decent person.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'd ever be in that situation because I don't know if I'd be friends with people who are capable of doing that.
Right?
You know what I mean?
My boyfriend, he's like, I'd give my friend a chance. Like, I'd tell them, like, hey, tell them by, like, you know, by Friday.
You need to tell them.
Right. He'd give them a chance. Like, oh, tell them by Friday. It's like, no, you don't know how long they've been cheating for, and they've had plenty of chances to tell them.
Yeah.
So, no, they don't get that chance.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah. Cheaters are scum. Anyways, this is your shameless plug moment. Go ahead and let everybody know anything you want them to know.
Well, my Instagram is It's Brayton. Just It's Brayton. All my music's on Spotify under Brayton. Apple Music, all that. I got new music coming out soon, in about a month or two. Very similar to Butterfly Effect. Just keep it rolling. And yeah, just thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it. I'm very excited for the new music. And yeah, catch us next time on a Senior Citizen podcast.